Hello, and welcome to Melody Joy Quilts. I just got home from work. I am still in my scrubs, but I'm going to do just a quick quilt block because sometimes you only have 15 to 20 minutes to sew, and that's okay. You can actually get a lot done in just 15 to 20 minutes. Yesterday, I had set myself up for success because I had already cut so many of these potato chip blocks, which are just 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch. I have really been on a kick to work through my scrap bins of fabric. I only started quilting last year, but it's amazing how much fabric you can accumulate in a short amount of time. And I have all these fabrics that are left from other projects. I can see on the table I have fabric from nieces that I made, from quilts that I made for my twin nieces, and fabric, some of that calf facet fabric, cave facet, is from a quilt I made for my daughter Natalie. And then I know I see some of the Tango line, and that is fabric from a quilt that I made for myself. And there's some fabric that came in the mystery box from my sister. And that ombre polka dot fabric was from a little quilted Barbie doll carrying case I made for my niece Emma. So many fabrics, and I don't have enough for a whole nother quilt, and some of these kind of just barely go together, but I decided to cut them all to potato chip size. So all of these pieces are cut to 2.5 by 4.5. And the first two pieces you sew together on the long side. And all of the rest of them go in sets of 2 or sets of 3 sewn together on the short side, on the 2.5 inch side. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I have my 1/4 inch foot on my Bernina. I have the stitch length set to 2.5, and I'm going to just work on this. I've seen so many people making scrap quilts using the potato chip method. I actually saw someone making a potato chip quilt, and it was not a scrap quilt. They used one whole collection, and that was really beautiful. Mine is going to be very scrappy. It's all kinds of fabric. Some of them are designer fabric. Some of them are from Hobby Lobby. Some of them are from Joann's. All different kinds. And I'm going to mix them all together. And it's going to have a lot of different colors, everything from navy blue to teal to yellow to orange. And I'm just going to play around with it and see what I end up with. So I'm going to cut these pieces apart, and I'm going to iron them. And the nice thing about this block is there's no nesting seams. So it doesn't matter at all which way you iron because there's no seams to match up. And that is a beautiful thing. I'm going to take my 2 pieces that were sewn together on the long sides, and those are actually going to be my center. Now, I need just individual blocks for the sides of this. So I'm going to sew on one side here, 2.5 by 4.5 inch block. When I put those first 2 strips together, that side should now measure 4.5, so it should exactly fit the next block. And that's sort of the beauty of the potato chip block, is that these sizes play together really nicely. If you're using a 1/4 inch seam, it just fits together really well without a lot of trimming up. So I'm going to press these kind of towards the outside. I'm going to add my other piece on the other side of this. Okay, so that has made my center. So now I can pick 2 of the blocks that are sewn together on the short side, so a strip of 2 pieces, and just kind of decide which color I like where, and then add it to the top and bottom of my middle piece. And this block would have been even faster if I hadn't had to stop and rethread. But for some reason, I have this thread that I'm trying to finish out using, and I'm about to just hurl it out the window because it keeps breaking. And I don't really understand why. It's 100% cotton thread, and for whatever reason, it just likes to break. But rethreaded my needle and kept going, and I was able to finish the rest of this block with no more problems. So I don't know if just every now and then I'm hitting sort of a snag in this thread or something, because the whole rest of the time I sewed this block, no issues. But that one time just had to rethread because my thread just snapped. And I'm not even sewing over bulky seams, so it's very odd. I don't think I would buy that brand of thread again. Definitely don't recommend it. Anyway, I'm just going to keep going, adding strips on to my potato chip block, working from the middle out. The longest that you need is just 3 pieces sewn together. And so here I'm going to iron this out, and you're going to kind of be able to see what it's looking like. Oh, it's just so cute. Okay, so there is a strip of 3 ready to go, but it's actually still too long at this point. I need another strip of 2. There's no right or wrong choices. I'm just mostly trying to balance it out and make sure I don't have too much all lighter colors or all darker colors bunched together, or too much red and pink in one spot, or too much teal blue in one spot. So I'm mostly just trying to make sure that I'm alternating and switching up which colors I'm using. Okay, so now we're ready for one of the strips of 3, and I only have 1 strip of 3 prepared. So I went ahead and decided to just pick 3 new colors for along the bottom. And I was liking that purple, so I'm going to go back and grab a purple, a pink, and an orange for the bottom row. It's only the very first 2 pieces that are sewn together on the long sides. Everything else was sewn together on the short sides and then added from the center out on our block. And my block ended up measuring to 12.5 inches. And that's where I stopped. I think you could possibly just keep going. I also saw a version where someone did the center block as just a 4.5-inch square. And I actually have some 4.5-inch pieces of Christmas fabric, so I might do some Christmas blocks with just a 4.5-inch square and then potato chip frames all the way around. But I'm really enjoying these scrap quilts, and I'm enjoying just trying to use up items from my stash. And I do plan on doing some fabric shopping soon, because there's a Houston quilt show, and I'm going to go later this week with my husband, and I'm hoping he will let me buy a little fabric there, because I have been a very good girl. But in the meantime, I'm just going to keep sewing through my stash. And there it is, my first full scrappy potato chip block. And I just had a lot of fun making it, and I hope you have fun too. Happy quilting!